was addressed to you? Because a lot of people are wondering, why are you doing this? They see you, in this sense, demarketing Mr. Peter Obi in favor of the APC, because that's what it is in that sense, because you actually said it clearly that rather than vote for Mr. Peter Obi on that first page, you said that you would rather give your votes to President Tinubu than to give it to Mr. Peter Obi. So a lot of people are asking, are you working with the APC? They always refer to your brother as well and say, oh, there's a certain Adeyanju working with government. So let's use this medium to speak to that. Are you defending the, or at least are you supporting the APC by demarketing Mr. Peter Obi?
Why will somebody like me, God forbid that I support APC, support APC for what?
But you said you'd rather give your votes to Mr. Tinubu.
If the opposition presents Peter Obi, I will vote Tinubu. Because we cannot have a situation where people, a man who leads a mob that terrorizes people online, that cannot tolerate criticism, that call people all sort of, anybody that does not support their candidate is an enemy of Nigeria. Anybody that does not support the candidate has been paid, has been compromised, is supporting the government. Who has Peter Obi criticized this government like the way I've criticized? Does Peter Obi even know what democracy is? What sacrifices has he made for democracy? Look, we have put our line on the line for this country, for preservation of democracy, at personal expense of prosecution. What kind of charges have we not faced in this country? At a time I was almost charged for terrorism. They've charged me for all kinds of offenses in this country. So what are we talking about? What does this person know about democracy or preservation of democracy, for God's sake? What we are saying is that we must sanitize our polity, that we cannot have a country where people who terrorize others, who do not appreciate that people have the right. Look at what they did to Joke Silva during the election. They had artists and Nollywood people supporting them. Nobody terrorized those people. But they terrorized that woman and other people, because she decided to support Tinubu in the last election. People have the right. I have the right. I have never voted a bad candidate, in my opinion, before. I have never voted a bad candidate before, in my opinion. In 1999, I voted Obasanjo. In 2003, I abstained. In 2011, I voted Goodluck Jonathan. In 2015, I voted Goodluck Jonathan again against the so-called lovers of democracy who wanted Buhari. I said, there is no way somebody like me can vote Buhari, a man who truncated democracy and his antecedent. And I was vindicated. I said, Buhari's mob, they will suppress freedom of speech, freedom of expression. They will drive Nigeria into autocracy and militocracy. And that was what happened. I was vindicated. In 2019, Buhari didn't even allow me to vote. He arrested me and locked me up in a prison in Kano because I couldn't vote. In 2023, I voted Omaile Sowore. So I have never voted a bad candidate before, in my opinion and in my view. And if the opposition makes the mistake of presenting Peter, I will vote Tinubu, just to prevent Peter Obi from emerging as president, because we cannot have
polity. Mr. Adeyanju, as I said, 5 pages long, lots of things said. But let's just start by saying this is not in court yet, so we can discuss this. What exactly is your grouse against Mr. Peter Obi and the obedience?
Yes, so in the wake up to the 2023 general election, because I'm not political, I'm just expressing my thoughts about why the opposition should come together and unite against the criminal APC and roguish APC government that always rig elections. That if the opposition is divided, that there's no way they can win. I was just expressing my political thoughts and views. The idea of the Obi candidacy excited me, and I said, but that he needed the buy-in of Atiku and Kwankwaso. I even urged Kwankwaso to deputize Obi. I urged Atiku to step down for Peter Obi, and all that. So in the process of that analysis, just expressing my views, I also said the fact that Atiku has been running for president in perpetuity, that he cannot continue to run. I was just expressing my views as a Nigerian. So then Peter Obi all of a sudden started trying to reach out to me to meet me. At that time I was out of the country. I think I was in Dubai or somewhere. You know, so, but he was persistent in reaching out to me, and I was avoiding him. But, you know, I didn't want to see him because I didn't want it to look like, oh, because I've expressed my views, which seems to be like almost in his favor, he now wants to see me and corner me to be one of his supporters. I don't want to support any position because I'm not partisan. Because some people had already started even resigning from activism and joining him. You know, so I didn't want to join his bandwagon, but I was excited by the idea of Peter Obi because, of course, Southeast have not produced a president in a very long time, except after post-independence anyway. So I was excited. So subsequently, I made some further views, and this time around he was more persistent. So one of his aide, a journalist, reached out to me. So we subsequently met. And I said yes. He commended me for some of my views and all that, and said that it would be exciting to work together. I said I'm not working with anybody. I now made some observations about the things that he has been accused of doing in the past. Corruption. Sarah reporter reported a story where his staff was caught with money. He tried to explain it, but I was not satisfied. Then I also raised the issue about these issues of him using state resources in Anambra to invest in his family business. His explanation to me in his defense was that he had resigned from the company before he became a governor. I was flabbergasted. I couldn't just wait to get up to leave the place. I'm like, how can a man that wants to be president of Nigeria not see the clear abuse? You understand? That he has abused his office to do such a thing. He was justifying it. He didn't see anything wrong in it. I was completely disgusted. So eventually I didn't want to disrespect him, so I wanted to leave. And then he got into, because we're like in a living room, it's like a suite. Then he got into a room and said, oh, please, he's coming. That he wants to go inside the room and he has something for me. So he brought one envelope or something like that. And said, no, this is just a small thing, it's just for coming, blah, blah, blah. I said, I laughed. I said, that means you don't know me. I said, and you are friends with Mimiko, former Governor Mimiko and others. There are people that was close to you, have asked them about me. If we do anything because of conviction, it's even me that will bring out of my money and support you. You know, so he kept insisting that it's not like that, it's not what I'm thinking. I said, God forbid, I left. So, however, I never revealed what happened to anyone. So I remember vividly, he went to, was it Egypt, to inspect some power something. At the peak of the Ekiti election, when his candidate in the Labour Party was running. So I criticized and said, you should be in Ekiti and not in Egypt. And I said, because you want to be president, you must go and campaign for your candidate and try to win. Man, his aides, some of these young boys that are around him started insulting me, that the reason why I'm criticizing him now is because that I was saying that he was okay, he was good. That the reason why I'm criticizing him now is that I brought a proposal to him and I demanded, is it 200 million or something? And that he told me that I said, me? And these are his close aides. So they started doing that. So I said, oh, because I had observed the pattern about them, that they terrorize people online, insult people, slander people. His mob, his obedient mob were practically uncontrollable during the last election. So I said, okay, so these people do not even want dissent of any kind of criticism of their candidate of any kind. I said, okay, I'm not going to even leave Tinubu alone and now face them, because we cannot have a situation in our country or in our polity where political extremism becomes the order of the day. And Nigerians are living witnesses to the things that eventually happened to the build-up of the last election. We have never had this kind of toxic political experience. Aside the Buharis, after the Buharis, the obedient mob is the most toxic political movement that we have ever witnessed in this country. They threaten Supreme Court judges, Court of Appeal Court judges, threatening artists, threatening Professor Wole Soyinka.
So this lawyer from Temu that is now that wants us to now see him as a whatever, as a messiah. This is his graphic design. He said on Channels Television that he's not a partisan politician. This is the graphic design of him wanting to become PDP National Publicity Secretary. This guy has been a PDP supporter, card carrying member of PDP since 1999. You guys remember, maybe I'll post the video later, when Nyesom Wike came out, because he called out Nyesom Wike, offering all sorts of names. Nyesom Wike came and exposed him, that he came to him. Deji Adeyanju went to Nyesom Wike and asked Nyesom Wike that he should make him the PDP Publicity Secretary, and Wike said he refused. His graphic design is coming out now, where he actually contested for the position of PDP National Publicity Secretary and they rejected him. You know, if not because of Deji Adeyanju has connection, this guy graduated from law school last 2 years, and now he wants us to see him as senior advocate of Nigeria. He wants us to see him as a judge in Nigeria. When you combine human rights activists and partisan politics and all of that, this is what you get. So this guy now is saying, if you listen to the video very well, he's saying that Peter Obi know what democracy is? Can you imagine? Someone who served Anambra State for 8 years, who has track record of running Anambra State government without stealing, embezzling public fund. Here is Deji Adeyanju telling us that Peter Obi doesn't know what democracy is. Imagine. Now, I think Peter Obi is the cause of all this, because Peter Obi has given him the attention he wants. If I were Peter Obi, if I'm to advise him, I would have told Peter Obi to ignore him, because he is not even saying worse than what Reno Omokri is doing. If somebody in Nigeria now cough, Reno Omokri will tweet that Peter Obi should have gone to console or visit the person that coughed in Kano State. If someone in Bayelsa State cough, or maybe it drinks water and the water did not enter so well in the stomach, Reno Omokri will tweet that why didn't Peter Obi go to Bayelsa State to see the person that drank water? And Reno Omokri has made it his content niche. Reno Omokri has made calling Peter Obi out his niche of content creation. So this guy is another spoilt brat that want to use Peter Obi to trend. Now, it's normal in Nigeria for you to be a public figure and your fans and followers to be toxic. If you check around, they say that very dark man supporters, the ratters, they are toxic, they are senseless, they are brainless. It's normal with Nigerians want change. If Nigeria should develop, let's say at least up to South Africa, I'm just speaking within Africa now. If Nigeria should develop up to South Africa, we won't be having followers or fans that are toxic like you have in our Nigerian social media space. It's not just about Peter Obi. Have you tried to correct Very Dark Man? Look at what is going on between Very Dark Man and Fina, Very Dark Man and Easy Legbebe, and many others. You will see that people will come out and tell you Very Dark Man followers are toxic, Very Dark Man this or that. Even the Tinubu supporters, Jagamans. If you go online, you see them. Even though the country is bad, Tinubu's policies are not favoring the country. If you go against Tinubu, you will see Tinubu supporters come against you. So he said that this whole thing started when Peter Obi wrote 2 days ago. Wrote him that he should retract the statement that he meant, the defamatory statement he made against Peter Obi, and then all hell was let loose. Deji Adeyanju started posting on his Facebook account. Just got this letter from Peter Obi, the religious bigot, demanding a retraction from me. I laughed so hard. I can't wait to meet him in court finally. A fraud parading himself as a messiah. This same guy called the Grace Ore a blackmailer in chief. We served his little errand girl Sarah a letter to retract all her defamatory publication on Monday against my wife, and she ran to the leader of the mob for help. Can't wait to meet him in court. Again, so many things this guy. Then he said Peter Obi, the religious bigot and fraud, must go to court or go to hell. He must not chicken out. And then he continued. Peter Obi is the leader of the obedient mob. Peter Obi is a religious bigot. Peter Obi is a fraud. He corruptedly invested Anambra State funds in his family business. He deposited billions of Anambra State funds in a bank. He has shares and interest. That is corruption and abuse of office. I quadruple dare him to sue me. If the opposition failed Obi, who is a religious bigot and a divisive politician in 2027, I will vote Tinubu in protest to prevent him and his mob of political extremists from going anywhere close to Asarok, and so forth and so on. The more religious a Nigerian is, the more dubious, heartless, wicked and evil they are likely to be. Never forget that there are tongue-speaking prayer warriors who manufacture fake drugs for children in this country, and they even give offering and tithe. One-man battalion, Deji Adeyanju, with 1 vote like 1 million votes, driving the obedient mob mad. They once claimed they were 70% of Nigerians according to their delusion. That means I got 70% of Nigerians crying just like that. It's just being petty. I've gone too far in life, God did, blah blah blah. The guy became so petty, became so petty. But one thing I have for Deji Adeyanju is that if you listen to the video, he said that he has voted Shawore. All the people he voted, none of them won. I believe when he voted for Jonathan was the time Jonathan lost his re-election. So that you voted good people, in your own opinion, that's not the opinion of Nigerians. So I see a lot of people just using Peter Obi to trend. I won't even be surprised if Very Dark Man comes out tomorrow to start calling out Peter Obi, because he has already said that indirectly. He said in his defense to what he did to Efina and Izzy Lebube, he said he supported Peter Obi, that when Peter Obi was time for Peter Obi to support them, Peter Obi neglected them. So a lot of people is seeing Peter Obi now as a means of climbing up. Look at Deji Adeyanju. If not for connection that the guy has, how many people finish from law school, some of them 5 years or 10 years ago, and they are nowhere now? But because he has that connection and link, he's feeling himself. He has not even practiced for up to 4 years, and then we can't read because of this social media poet brat. And he don't want to equate himself with Peter Obi. He can sit down because yes, Shawore is a real activist in chief in Nigeria. So if you have any problem now, Shawore with his connection will come for you. So without Shawore's backing, this guy, all this thing is coming out and calling out politicians recklessly. Yes, you can criticize the politician, but you cannot just come and he's calling himself one-man battalion. Deji Adeyanju should be careful. Peter Obi is a very humble politician, a mild politician. Imagine if Peter Obi should behave like Buhari. 2003, 2015, when Buhari lost election, Buhari was threatening fire and brimstone. Before that 2015 election, Buhari was on AIT, issuing threats, clear-cut threats. Maybe that's why Kenneth Okonkwo left Peter Obi. Kenneth Okonkwo wanted Peter Obi to be like a real opposition. But Peter Obi, being apologetic, being diplomatic in his statements, Peter Obi need to come out real time, like a strong opposition, a strong face, and challenge this current government. Because, like I said in my previous video, if a government should stand without an opposition, that government will not do well. They need a strong opposition that will keep them to their toes. So Deji Adeyanju is not different from Reno Omokri, because Reno Omokri also is a blackmailer in chief. He has been calling out Peter Obi for the wrong reason. Everything is all about Peter Obi. So how do you expect Peter Obi to control his supporters? Peter Obi has been to Arise TV, Channels TV, and he has been clear. He has also, I have the videos, he said obedience should not abuse people. Obedience should not insult people. So do you expect Peter Obi to be going to different families of all the obedience to be telling them to do it? He has done that. But we Nigerians, we want change. And with all indication, the change is not forthcoming. The people that are assuming office, assuming power, are those who plundered it. So we see a man who has integrity. We see a man who has all it takes to govern Nigeria coming up. And then they want to shut obedience down. They want obedience. Look at El-Rufai now. Because El-Rufai has lost it with Tinubu, El-Rufai now wants to do what? El-Rufai wants to partner with Peter Obi. Tomorrow, this Deji Adeyanju will come up again, want to partner with Peter Obi. This is just politics. They say a lot of rubbish, and in the end, they will eat up their words. El-Rufai said a lot of things, that Peter Obi is an Hollywood actor, that Peter Obi is an Hollywood actor, that Peter Obi doesn't win anything. Peter Obi is the Peter Obi that. But the new party now, African Democratic Congress, that they form, El-Rufai is lobbying for Peter Obi's partnership. You see, everybody wants to connect with Peter Obi, and we are hearing rumors now that PDP wants to connect with Peter Obi because Atiku has left PDP. So Deji Adeyanju should just wait. Let's see what the future holds. 2027 is around the corner. Let's see who is going to win. So all this is social media banter. Peter Obi is a religious bigot. He's leading a mob. Yes, let him lead a mob. Power is taken. Power is not given. Power is taken. Bible really say the violent take it by force. If you are just diplomatic, you can get anything. We saw how Buhari handled it. How Buhari came about his own. So you don't expect Peter Obi to keep quiet. So Peter Obi should be controlling all the Nigerians within and outside the country that are throwing support massively for him and telling them. So they just want Peter Obi to come up and say, all the bidden, you shut up your mouth, don't say anything. Deji Adeyanju is a disgrace. He's a spoiled brat. Well, what he has got to say has nothing to do on obedience. What Deji Adeyanju has got to say has nothing to do with what Peter Obi wants to do. But let him meet Peter Obi in court first. It's not just all about coming up. Yes, I know. Deji Adeyanju know what he's doing. He knows that no politician has ever won any case in court of defamation. So that's why he's coming and calling Peter Obi this, Peter Obi all sorts of names. But maybe this one will nail him. You never know. So he believes he has got it. The only advice I have to give to Deji Adeyanju is he needs to be careful. He needs to be very, very careful. Where Peter Obi has gone to enlighten politically, that's where Deji Adeyanju can only dream of. Let him go and contest for at least community councillor in his Kogi state. Let him at least go and contest for local government chairman. Let him start from there. Or even state house of assembly member. He contested for PDP publicity secretary. He could not win. And this is a man that is saying that does Peter Obi know what democracy is? Because he was doing cho. Buhari arrested him. He kept him in prison and released him. You know what? Nigerians go with emotion. I said it before. Because they arrested him and then he was after in the opposition, everybody now loved him. That's how he made himself a messiah, self-proclaimed messiah. He's saying that Peter Obi says he's a messiah. Peter Obi has proven that time after time that he did not steal any money. And he has said, if anybody knows where any land was given to him, they gave him land while he was state governor of Anambra State. He refused. Peter Obi said he refused that they should build office for his wife as office of the first lady. He said he was the one that was voted for. Tell me which governor that have done that in Nigeria. So it's a shame when people just come and just want to use Peter Obi to trend because they know that Peter Obi is not mine. Peter Obi is just mine. But let us start with Deji Adeyanju. Let him meet Peter Obi in court and let him defend himself. After whosoever that wants to say trash against Peter Obi will go and defend himself in court. I think this is a right step in the right direction.